Now let us read from a short section of In Love at Ease as we conclude today's Sangha. This book was written by Yogi Trivedi, who was a devotee of the protagonist of this book, Pramukh Swami Maharaj. It is his love, his ease, that is the topic of this book. We are discussing everyday spirituality with him, learning about how we can take some insight from the love, the ease that this spiritual teacher to millions embodied so effortlessly. Here's another love story. The cemetery and crematorium was empty when Swamishri arrived. He was early to fulfill a promise Swamishri stated that morning. In 1990, Swamishri started that morning in 1990 in Colchester, England, and arrived in London at P.N. Mortzaria's house for a Padramani. Swamishri instructed the sadhus to take Hare Krishna Maharaj in their car, which is a little idol he keeps everywhere of his Ishta Devata, a form of the divine that speaks to his heart. He also had the sadhus place his bags and Hare Krishna Maharaj's ritual utensils and water jug in the other car. The sadhus were baffled, but they complied. After leaving the bhaktas, the devotee's house, Swamishri instructed the driver of the other car carrying Hare Krishna Maharaj to return to the mandir, the temple house of worship, and instructed his driver, Arun Kumar, to take their car towards South London. Swamishri told him that he needed to get there on time. Arun Kumar sped through the streets of London towards an address provided by Swamishri. Arun Kumar's eyes widened as he realized they had come to a funeral home in the middle of a cemetery. Swamishri got out of the car and sat on a bench in the cemetery. He waited for 45 minutes, reading the names on the tombstones to pass the time. The attendant sadhu and Arun Kumar were still trying to figure out what they were doing here. The family members soon arrived for Jai Krishna Bhai's final rites. They were surprised to see Swamishri there. "When did you get here? I didn't even know you were coming," cried Jai Krishna Bhai's son. A few days ago, Jai Krishna Bhai had called Swamishri while he was in Crawley and requested, "Please give me moksha, liberation. I am ready to go. And please come bless me at my cremation rites." Swamishri had given him his word. Swamishri performed the final rites for Jai Krishna Bhai's mortal body by pushing the coffin into the crematorium. Swamishri's promises stood the test of time, even death. He showed up even when others were unaware. After all, true love survives death. One of the oldest articulations of Swamishri's bhakti is seva, or selfless service. Swamishri served because he loved. Though many of the interactions in this chapter represent Swamishri's desire and willingness to serve, there are a few as powerful as a guru feeding, serving, and cleaning up after his disciples. Swamishri had traveled to Rajasthan along with Pragat Bhagat and Dev Charandas Swami. They were staying in a village near a stone quarry. There was no running water or electricity, and the scorching summer sun beat down on them, third time's the charm, during the day, while the ground radiated that heat at night. The attendants fell ill because of the heat and lack of food in that remote village. During the day, Swamishri traveled from quarry to quarry, carrying out an agna, an injunction by his guru, Yogi Maharaj. At the end of the day, he would return and care for his attendants. Unfortunately, Pragat Bhagat's fever only worsened. One evening, when Swamishri returned, he saw both of his attendants in bed and their spirits broken. He approached Pragat Bhagat and put his hand on his head. It was extremely hot. Swamishri gently massaged his head and prepared some rice to feed him. There were no spoons at that time, so Swamishri fed him with his own hands. He comforted them about their health and the living conditions. He promised they would all leave in a few days. Several sadhus and bhaktas, monks and devotees, had recounted incidents in which Swamishri massaged their feet and heads to help them feel better. His spirit of service extended beyond the individuals close to him. It reached out to the world. Swamishri had been seen washing public bathrooms, picking up used dental sticks, and even helping a youth roll out a massive garbage trolley, all in silence, when the cameras and eyes were not on him. His spirit of service molded the culture of the organization and set an example for the volunteers and sadhus. Often, that service required sacrifice, giving that which was dear to you. Swamishri did not hesitate to give what was his to others in need. Yes, he could have requested for more through the community, but Swamishri never hesitated to give what was his. During his meeting with His Holiness Tulsi Bai complained about his shabby eyeglasses being too heavy for his ears and nose. It was difficult to bear the weight of the economical but heavy frame. Swamishri called his personal attendant and asked for his own eyeglasses. Swamishri took off Tulsi Bhai's eyeglasses and slid on his own pair in their place. He asked Tulsi Bai how they looked and if they felt lighter. Tulsi Bai nodded his head in approval. Swamishri said, "Perfect. These are your new glasses. Consider this my seva, in return for all you have done." Tulsi Bai's face lit up like a full moon. He walked out of the door with a smile and his new glasses on his face. Swamishri was willing to give whatever he had for those in need. In another instance, while on a pilgrimage in Prayagraj, Swamishri gave away the snacks and groceries the sadhus had prepared for him to a group of pilgrims. Giving gave him joy. It was his love language. Swamishri's love broke down barriers and removed hatred from hearts. Swamishri counseled thousands of parents, children, families, business partners, and even entire villages to end feuds and build bridges. He condemned retaliation and spent hundreds of hours with both parties, alone and together, to seek resolution. his selfless desire to unite without wanting anything in return eventually softened the most stubborn adversaries. A prominent example of this was the violent feud and later stalemate between a group of 45 villages represented by Odorka and Kukad in the Bhavnagar district of Saurashtra. The feud had been going on for over 200 years and had led to scores of deaths over a small area of disputed property. The feud was solidified by a custom of hatred called Appaya, in which villagers vowed not to have relations, marry into, and drink the water from the wells in each other's villages. It was a stark animosity. British officers, local religious leaders, statesmen of the new Republic of India, and social workers all tried their best to end the violence. But on the 12th of April, 1990, Swamishri was able to gather the seniors from all 45 villages and end the rivalry by way of sharing water from each other's wells. Swamishri's love erased hatred between communities. And with that, let us pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now, and we'll begin our final segment of today's Sangha. So thank you for listening. The reading is so full of love, says Ranjit. I love that. And much love to you.